We invite them into our homes, give them names, and then proceed to dress them in tiny pink rabbit hats. We train them to ring bells and walk on tightropes, treating them like compliant little humans or eager-to-please dogs. When costumes aren't enough, we literally alter their genetics. We've engineered around 100 different breeds to satisfy our aesthetic whims, resulting in mutations like the Munchkin, a cat deliberately bred to have shortened, dachshund-like legs. We've even removed their fur entirely. The Sphinx cat is born without the insulating coat that its ancestors relied on for survival, turning a once capable animal into a living, shivering fashion statement. The problem is a massive evolutionary mismatch. Humans spent thousands of years domesticating pack animals like dogs, breeding them to follow orders and seek our approval. Cats never received that memo. They operate entirely on their own free will. They might purr on your lap and accept your expensive food, but make no mistake, the creature sleeping at the foot of your bed is a highly efficient, solitary hunter that has simply decided to tolerate your presence. 3,500 years ago, the rise of human agriculture in ancient Egypt created massive grain silos. Those silos attracted rodents, and the rodents attracted the African wildcat. They didn't join our society because they wanted to be part of a pack. They moved in because human settlements offered easy prey. It was a cold, mutually beneficial business transaction. Look at this anatomical diagram of a cat's sensory system. Nature designed them as flawless solitary killers. At the front of that system are the whiskers, which act as a highly tuned environmental radar wired directly into their nervous system. These hairs are so sensitive they can detect minute shifts in air currents. A cat can navigate complex environments and track moving prey in pitch blackness without ever physically touching a single object. Combine that with their vision. Their pupils can expand to take in ambient moonlight, making their eyes up to 6 times more sensitive to light than ours. Because they were already perfectly engineered as solitary ambush predators, they had no biological reason to change. They never needed to develop the subservient, rule-following behavior we expect from herd animals. Our inability to train or control them has driven humanity a little crazy. Over the centuries, we've repeatedly projected our own deep insecurities onto their quiet independence. Some societies looked at that aloof, predatory nature and saw the divine. The ancient Egyptians elevated the cat to the status of a goddess, worshipping them as fierce protectors of the home. They built massive catteries specifically to breed millions of felines, ultimately killing and binding them in intricate wrappings to present at temples as religious offerings. That adoration continues today. In Japan, the cat is revered as a vessel of good fortune, resulting in thousands of raised paw statues crowded into shrines to beckon in luck and prosperity. But travel to medieval Europe, and that exact same nocturnal, solitary behavior terrified people. Without a master to obey, the cat was widely viewed as an agent of the devil. This paranoia led to mass persecution. During outbreaks of witch hysteria in Belgium, townspeople routinely tortured cats and threw them from high belfries to shatter what they believed were evil spirits. Whether we are building them shrines or throwing them from towers, these wild swings in human behavior all stem from the same root cause: our absolute frustration at an animal we cannot dominate. Today, we've largely traded superstition for science, but we still demand compliance. We subject cats to rigid standardization, forcing them into highly specific, measurable parameters at competitive shows. When they don't naturally fit our lifestyle, we modify them physically. We shear their coats to look like miniature lions, glue plastic caps over their natural weaponry, and in some places, perform illegal surgical decline to protect our furniture. This ego-driven need for control reaches its darkest point when people decide a domestic cat isn't enough, purchasing full-grown apex predators as exotic status symbols. The reality of owning a tamed tiger usually ends with a large, frustrated predator locked in a suburban basement or a closet. Sanctuaries are completely overwhelmed trying to rescue abused lions and leopards from these disastrous domestic arrangements. You cannot negotiate with millions of years of predatory instinct. Treating a wild animal like a compliant accessory always ends in suffering, exposing human control as a complete illusion. To actually understand the feline spirit, you have to look far beyond our living rooms. you have to look at the vast, unbroken canopies of the jungle. The jaguars patrolling these ancient ruins and the cheetahs running down prey on the plains share the exact same biological and behavioral DNA as the tabby cat currently sleeping on your sofa. And tragically, these wild cousins are being driven toward extinction for the exact same reasons we struggle with house cats. They refuse to acknowledge human agricultural boundaries, fences, or rules, and they are shot for it. We have a terrible habit of trying to mold nature to fit our immediate needs. But if we want these animals to survive, we have to stop demanding that they conform to our world. Ultimately, true appreciation for any cat, large or small, means respecting its absolute independence. Their untamed, solitary nature is not a flaw we need to fix. It is the very essence of what makes them so remarkable.